Hey everyone, this episode is part of a remastered series that Marisol and I decided to record to make up for the loss of our original 10 episodes. In these episodes, you can expect the two of us to talk about the exact same topics that were covered in our original episodes, only now with a new perspective. Thank you guys for listening. Now let's get into the episode. Petito.
I really don't know how to say it, and I feel like that's disrespectful.
Yeah, I don't know. We're recording though. I accidentally clicked it, but I mean, we're already going in.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. So everybody, hey, welcome to the remastered episode number 4. Now, actually, originally this episode was called Getting Personal, and we talked about some shit that was kind of awkward, and I feel like we weren't ready to talk about. So
we changed it.
Yeah. Today we're going to be talking about some books that we've read as well as books that we're currently reading. Now, I have not read that much, nor have I gotten far in the current book that I'm reading, but Marisol has flown through, double digits, the amount of books she's read, right?
I don't know if it's double digits. I haven't counted.
You got a fat stack of books. You're at least 10 or 12 books in.
Okay.
And that's because you haven't picked up any new ones.
Yeah, I did have to read one book, but it was for school.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that really counts.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a thing I wanted to read.
Going to be talking about a total of 3 books today.
We love that for you.
One of which I've gotten through entirely, one of which I've gotten through halfway, and then one of which I haven't even started, but I have ready to start as soon as I finish the current one that I'm reading. But all that aside, before we even get into that, we actually have a story that I thought was really juicy, and I think we should talk about on the podcast.
Oh my goodness.
Because
I know you didn't just say juicy.
Okay, yes, like condolences to all those affected, but it is crazy and kind of like spooky to think about it. Like you were talking about it, and I kind of got chills. Like, damn, that shit, like it's crazy just because of like what happened too with her Instagram and that post and everybody being like, this ain't her, and like how people just like figured that shit out, you know? But you go ahead and take it away because I don't really know who this girl is and I don't have a good understanding of her following and what she does.
Okay, so I'm going to be honest. I don't have that best of an understanding as well. But,
okay, yeah.
And I also don't know how to say her last name. So that is very heartbreaking.
Pronounce it the best you can.
Okay, I don't want it to be like disrespectful. I just don't know how to say it.
Yeah, no disrespect.
Okay, so it's Gabby Petito. I think that's how you say it.
Okay.
I haven't seen... I know like on TikTok there have been videos, but I haven't seen them. I've only seen like some posts on Twitter about it. So this is where I'm getting my info from. Just so there's no miscommunication. Like I didn't do research on this. It was just stuff that I saw on Twitter. And I think maybe I saw one video on TikTok. But I can't remember.
We looked at that one article too while we were eating dinner. Like, I literally found out about this, maybe 10 minutes before recording this episode. But I thought it was crazy and I wanted to mention it.
Okay, yeah. So I first heard about it on Twitter. I had no idea who this girl was. But apparently she went on a road trip. I think it was across the U.S. with her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I don't know his name either. But yes, she went across the United States with her boyfriend. It was in a van.
Yes.
And they were visiting like national parks and those sorts of things, right?
Yeah.
She was very much about the outdoors and like that type of lifestyle. At least that's what I'm getting from her Instagram, which on her Instagram was a personal blog, and it looks like she had a YouTube channel and she had a lot of following. So into the story. What I found interesting was that, so there's this post on her Instagram. It's the last one that's there.
Yeah.
For one, it does not match her aesthetic. For two, her hair's done, right? Her roots are dyed. And her caption does not fit, her natural character of what she puts for captions.
Yeah. Like given previous posts that she's put, it's out of the ordinary.
Yeah. And so what people are assuming is that her boyfriend is actually the one who did it to make people think that she was okay.
Yeah.
Because remember, they went on this road trip together and he came back without her did not mention it to his family, her family. Who even knows if he mentioned it to a friend?
Yeah.
We have no idea. And he did not report her missing. How do you not report someone missing that you were literally with?
Yeah. Yeah, that's just great. That's what makes it like really suspicious, like really sus, because I mean, he even said when he got back, like as soon as people started finding out, like he lawyered up and now he's on the run.
Yeah, and he didn't say anything. He was basically like, I don't know anything about it. It's up to y'all to find her.
Yeah.
Like, that's just showing no respect for her family. Like, how are you in a relationship with someone and then, oh, they're missing? You know what? I don't care.
Yeah, I just think what's crazy is that, I mean, I'm not trying to like critique the way that he tried to cover it up, but that shit just seems so sloppy. Like it was almost impossible for people not to find out. And the fact that he's denying it when honestly, like the evidence just screams that some shit happened and he knows what happened, you know, whether he did it or not, he knows what happened.
Yeah, even if it was like an accident.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he did do it. It might have been an accident because there's actually a recording where it was from, I think, a cop's like bodysuit camera.
Yeah.
And he's handling a situation because they got called on for like domestic violence or something.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the guy was the one being violent.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell that she's scared. And the officer is trying to handle the situation the best that he can, or that he knows how to.
Yeah.
But the next day, because the cop separated them for a night. But then he was like, oh, y'all can meet up after that. And after that, I feel like that's whenever she went missing. Like, I don't know if she posted anymore after that.
Yeah, that shit's scary, honestly.
Yeah, and I think I read that they actually got called on twice. So 2 cops like actually dealt with it.
Domestic situation?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
And so 2 times I think that she was trying to get help. But when you're in that situation, like, you don't know how you're going to react.
Yeah.
And we don't know if he's been violent like this or abusive like the whole time. He probably was, and nobody really knew. And even if they did knew, it wasn't that big of a deal at the time. Or she didn't make it to seem that big of a deal.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, because like at the end of the day, like the only people who really know the severity of the situation are those involved, you know?
Yeah, and sometimes when you're in love, like, you don't really realize that it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, like maybe she was really just hoping that things would change, and you know, man, I don't know what happened. I mean,
yeah, and then I looked on the Instagram because I was looking at her page, and I was like, yeah, this picture really doesn't fit, right? She doesn't have like just random pictures in there that don't match.
Yeah, and
then she like had him tagged in a photo, and I looked, and I think he wasn't following her, but she was still following him. And I was like, very interesting.
Yeah, something happened.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Man, I'm sorry. I don't think the mic is picking this up, but my dogs are going absolutely apeshit outside right now. So if it is picking up and you can hear it in the background, I apologize, but we're going to keep the recording going. I just wanted to throw that out there.
But yeah, so the reason we brought it up was because I think it was her dad or someone related to her, but they posted a picture of her and then her hashtag with her name and then heartbreaking. Yeah. Right? And then it was something how she inspired the world or influenced the world. That was the caption.
Yeah, because she had a pretty large following, like 650K on Instagram and a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, I didn't look at her YouTube channel, but I'm pretty sure it was around like the same, you know, at least 100,000. I'm not too sure. I haven't looked. But the reason we bring it up is because today, at least I think it was today, yeah, September 19th. Mm-hmm. Yeah. FBI, humans remain found in Wyoming, likely Gabby Petito.
That is fucking insane.
Yeah. And I don't know. I heard that all these people on TikTok have actually been like posting like, oh, we saw that van because they were also passing by. Yeah. And like this is like a national thing that's going around. Yeah. So people have been like on the lookout, especially in those areas. And they're like, we saw that van. We saw that guy. And I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Wait, so he came back in the van, but she wasn't with him?
Yeah. And he was like, I don't know where she is.
Yeah. No,
like, how do you not know?
How do you not like look? You know what I mean? Like if I was with you and then you disappeared. Like, I would not leave the area and just be like, I don't know where the fuck she went, you know?
Oh yeah, and then not help the police and be like, well, the last time I saw her was here.
You know what I mean? I call the police on site, get a search party going, call my parents, your parents, call everybody, just be like, get your asses down here. Like, we're fucking search party, like, in 30 minutes, be here right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and to not bring it up for a few days.
Right? That shit would be the only thing on my mind. So that's why something was definitely going on. I mean, obviously with the previous reports of domestic abuse or domestic violence, whatever was going on, right?
Yeah.
You know, really leads one to believe like, okay, like the relationship, definitely something was happening. And whether or not he did it, he definitely knows. And coming back and just not admitting to anything or even showing any signs of like, you know, damn, you know, where could she be? You know, it's just kind of like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. The questions I have is that, you know, they planned to go on this road trip together.
Yeah.
And in his head, did he plan like, oh, like they're never going to find her body out here?
Yeah.
Because you can't, like in national parks, it's hard. For one, like the natural, or like the environment, you know, and then the animals that are out there.
Yeah. I don't know.
I know we talked about this, I think, in our conspiracy video about like a bunch of people, like they go missing.
Oh, yeah.
In like those areas.
Yeah,
so what if he was just like, oh, you know what? She'll just go missing.
We did talk about that. I remember. And you were like, we're not taking our kids like camping or like to national parks. I'm like, hey, well, I think we're good. Like, we just have to be very vigilant.
We just always have to have them.
Yeah.
Especially when they're little.
Yeah. And then we just got to teach them, you know, like proper survival skills and like, hey, like if some random ass dude comes up to you, just be like, no. And run away.
But yeah, I don't know. That's what I was thinking about. Like, did he plan that? And he thought, oh, well, you know, we were separated, so I don't know what happened to her.
Yeah.
But to not bring it up.
Some spooky shit, man. Some fucked up shit.
And if he didn't plan it, like, did something happen and he just kind of lost it?
Yeah.
Because if he was being violent, like, this whole time in the relationship, it's kind of like he just met his point. Like, his breaking point.
Yeah. Man, I don't know.
And that's just horrible. But, like... Or you said it when we were at the dinner table, but why don't people just break up?
Yeah.
You know, like, why do you have to kill the other person?
Yeah, if you're really unhappy, bro, just break up. Just leave. Like,
you could save a lot of people, a lot of pain, and you wouldn't go to jail.
Yeah.
Like,
but even if you're thinking that shit, man, like, get some help. If
if
you feel yourself thinking that, like, all right, first of all, leave that relationship. Second of all, get some help, man, because
like,
you can't.
You need help.
Or woman. I said man, but like, you know, man or woman, whoever you are.
Yeah, either one.
Like, if you have feelings like that shit, man, that's just, you can't be. It's messed up. But yeah, I don't want to take up the whole episode about this. So
but yeah, but definitely look into it. I don't really know all the details. I just went off of like what I've read so far, but that's crazy.
Yeah. So condolences to the family and to her.
100%.
Hope everything gets resolved.
Yeah, and I hope she gets justice because she definitely deserves it.
Yeah. All right. Well, getting off of that heavy ass topic, let's get into the books that we've read.
Okay.
Why don't you start off because you have a very extensive list.
Okay. So some of these books I haven't read in like a year. Well, not even. It's been like 6 months. It's been a few months.
Yeah.
Actually.
You said it's been like 2 months.
Okay. Yes.
Fly through a book
it's been
every
like
week.
a month since I read anything like for my own personal satisfaction. So it's been a little while, to say the least. And I'm gonna start off really with the books that have helped me grow personally, not like the fiction books that I've read.
Yeah.
Like personal growth books. So I'm gonna say like the title and then kind of a gist of what happened. I don't remember like everything. So this is just going off of memory. So the first book, or one of the first books I actually started reading that got me into like this whole, not like reading project, but goal to read 3 books in the summer.
So book binge.
Yeah, it was called Dream Big by Bob Goff. And he actually writes kind of like Christian books and how to grow personally with your faith and kind of overall. Like, he brings up situations that he's gone through and not only how it pulls in with God, but also how it doesn't. Kind of like if you believe or not, you can still get something good out of it because he's showing you real life scenarios that have happened or that could happen to you, right? And then the other one that is actually also from Bob Goff is Love Does. And it kind of shows you, this one is more religious, I would say, showing you how God shows you that he loves you, and then how you can love other people in like the best way that you possibly can. But that is enough, or the last two that I've read of Bob Goff.
Okay.
And then I also read Friendship with God. I don't remember much about this, but as you can get from the title, it was how to have a friendship with God.
Yeah.
Because the author was talking about how it's not really about religion, it's about the relationship you have with God. And that's really what it should be about, not what a religion tells you it should be about. Because religions are made by people. They're not directly from God. Like they are, yes, but people have changed them to fit their own satisfaction and their own desires.
It's kind of like a club. Like it's a club devoted to, you know, a godly being, whether it be like God in Christianity or like all the other religions who worship all types of other gods, right? Or that's kind of how I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then like this club has a set of rules on how one should worship or practice their faith, right? But I mean, I don't know. It sounds like that's more so talking about just one-on-one. Like it's just you and God. Like if you don't do these practices that your religion is telling you to, like that's okay as long as your faith is strong with you and the Lord.
Yeah, it was kind of just saying like, you know, you're not going to have the same relationship as everyone else is with God. Like it's very much one-on-one. And you shouldn't expect to have the same relationship as like some other people do. Sorry, Dylan just did something. And it made me laugh.
Yeah, we ain't got to mention it.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, so that's what it was about. And the author is actually Jamie Moore. I believe I'm saying that name correctly. And she is the one who wrote Friendship with God. Or actually, I think it's a guy. I do not remember. I'll be honest. All right, and then so the next book, I think this is one of the last ones that I read that was actually a self-help book. So yeah, it is The Problem of God by Clark. Does not say the first name. Or maybe that is his first name. I'm assuming it's a guy, but it might be a girl.
Interesting.
I don't remember.
My gosh. What was the title of the book?
The Problem of God.
Okay. I'm sure that. And then what was the name?
Clark.
All right. Yeah, that people will find it. You're good.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. That's just what was on like the cover.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't remember what this book was about, but I'm gonna assume it talks about how you have a problem or how you could have a problem with God.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe how to resolve that.
Okay.
Or maybe what's the problem of God like in religion? I don't know. These are the ideas that are popping up when I said the title. So I think that's what it was about.
Okay.
But I don't know. But I did read it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I just wanted to say that.
All right.
Okay. All right. On to the next book. This is now going into the fiction books that I've read.
Okay.
And I'm not going to mention two of them because I put them in a little library and I forgot what the titles were. So.
But they're there.
Yeah, they're there. They were good. Maybe I'll remember them later.
Maybe. All
right. So one that I wrote was by.
One that you wrote?
I'm so sorry. One that I read.
Said, all right, my bad. So I read, and I currently have a movie in production.
I also published this book.
Yes.
On my own.
Mm-hmm.
No help.
100%.
I'm just kidding. Okay. So the book that I read.
Yes.
By Stone. No first name again on the cover. It's Time and Time Again. And this is the book that I was like, oh shoot, I need to keep reading fiction because it was a love story and it was about this couple that gets together. It was kind of in high school and going into college, but the guy's actually from the future and he can time travel. And he fell in love with this girl from the past. So it's hard for their relationship to keep going. And then like all this stuff happens in between. Very, very heartwarming and heartbreaking at the same time. Y'all will have to read it. I'm not going to say the ending. And then one that I read that I found from TikTok is Beach Read by Emily Henry.
Yeah.
Really good. 100% recommend. It was kind of fast-paced, and I liked that.
Yeah. You don't like slower books?
No. Because if it takes them forever to get to, like, the point, or, like, some juicy things, I get tired.
You, like, want to move on, right?
Yeah. I don't know. It just, if it doesn't captivate me in the first 50 pages, I'm, like, out.
Yeah.
But I still finish it. It's just not as satisfying because it took me forever to get to, like, the main point of the book.
Interesting.
All right. And then the other one that I have read is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren.
Those are two that you got from our Austin trip, right?
Yes.
We went to that bookstore, Book People. That was a fire-ass bookstore, honestly.
It was. And that's actually where I found these two books, like Julian said. And they were off of TikTok. Because a lot of people were posting about them, and I was like, I have to read them. So I finally found them. And this one, it was actually really good. They're two people that don't like each other.
Mm-hmm.
They end up having to spend a honeymoon together because I think her sister and the groom, which is the guy's brother, get sick. So they can't go to their honeymoon, which is why it is called The Unhoneymooners, because they're not really on a honeymoon. It's just the trip is supposed to be a honeymoon, but not for them because they didn't get married. Sorry, I did not plan what I was going to be saying for these things.
It kind of reminds me of that movie Blended. Have you ever seen that movie with Adam Sandler and what was her name? She's blonde. She was that lady from 50 First Dates.
No, I don't think I've seen that movie.
I'll look her up. Hold on, give me a second. But yeah, so it reminds me of that because in Blended, it's basically these two couples, or not these two couples, but these two people with their kids, and they take like this African getaway, like this African excursion, week-long excursion, because the original couple that was gonna go couldn't, like something happened, and so they go, and then during that whole period they end up falling in love, and it was, completely not the plan, right?
Yeah.
But then it happens, and it becomes like this big thing, and basically at the end of the movie, right, they get together, and it's a really nice story. Honestly, I really enjoyed that movie. Some people are kind of like, it's not one of Adam Sandler's best, but I was like, what? Like, I thought it was really good, but I guess not.
Okay, yeah, it is like that.
Drew Barrymore, that's her name. Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore. They've been in a lot of movies together, and I really liked Blended, but a lot of people didn't. So
you said, anyways.
Yeah, well, that's what that reminded me of.
It is kind of like that. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I thought all these books were really good. I can't remember which ones took forever to get to the point. I think it was like those two that I put back into the little library.
Yeah.
And they were pretty long, though. They were like 4 or 5 stories in like one book.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that's why.
Interesting.
They were good, though, too.
Any more, or do you?
Oh, yeah. I have 1, 2... I kind of have 3 more.
Interesting.
Okay. So the next one is actually, or the next 2, I should say, are actually kind of like history fiction. I think that's like the genre that it's labeled as. But the first one is called The Night Portrait by Laura Morelli. I believe that is what it is. And it is about, hold on, let me think about this. Okay, it is about 3 or 4 characters, and they're all from different time periods, but it is centered around this portrait of Leonardo da Vinci. And this is fiction, remember, so it's not like true to the historical facts, but it is taking place during World War II. That's when it was Germany, right? The Nazis? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to remember. And then this soldier is trying to protect these paintings, and then this lady who actually, I forget what her position is, but she restores paintings that are really old so they can be viewed by more people, and like for the museums, and then even for like very wealthy families that have like these portraits. And she gets pulled in by the Nazis to basically like decide which paintings are not really worth saving, but worth keeping for themselves. And she's very much against it, so she tries to get the paintings back to like the original owners. And that's what that soldier's trying to do too. So eventually their time periods meet up, but they're all different years in the beginning. And then the third person that we're looking at is actually the woman that Leonardo da Vinci painted. And basically the whole story is centered around her because it's her portrait that they're trying to save. And you go back in time to see what her life was like and what is portrayed in that painting. And I think they're all based on real people. So some of the names are actual, like...
historical figures?
Yes. And if they're not like the exact names, they just changed them because they didn't know exactly what happened in those people's lives.
Yeah.
But they're based off of those like soldiers and the lady who restored the paintings. I'm trying not to give too much away. But that is the gist of that book. I really should have wrote down what I was going to say. Because I don't know.
You're
like I don't know what's important to say.
Yeah, and that's the gist of this one.
Babe. I'm also like out of breath. Today, I went to work and I've just been tired since. And Julian bought me coffee from Summer Moon, which is very thoughtful.
Freaking love Summer Moon.
And it kind of just made me like, I don't know, like out of breath.
Really?
Like all the caffeine is like making me like, like do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm trying to breathe and I can't.
Yeah. All right. This is the last book, right?
Yeah. So this is the last book. It is called The Girl from Venice. And it is by, oh my gosh, I have no idea how to say it.
What does it say? Can I see?
Yeah, you can see.
Let me see.
It is this book right there, the second one.
The second one?
Yeah, like the second from the top.
Oh. It's like Siobhan 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 like in a spelling bee. Can I have the country of origin, please?
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, so this is the last book that I actually read that was for me.
Yeah.
And not for school.
Uh-huh.
And obviously it is about a girl from Venice, but it is also taking place during World War II.
Mm-hmm.
But this girl is actually a Jew.
Okay.
So she goes through all of these, I wouldn't say trials, but events in her life. But it starts with her death.
Starts with her death?
Yeah, it starts with her death and her granddaughter, because this lady's older by the time.
By the time she dies?
Yeah, by the time she dies.
Okay, so it's not like a death during World War II.
No.
This is much later.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, let me start over.
All right.
So the book starts off and it is this granddaughter and the grandmother and they live in London.
Okay.
Okay, the grandmother dies. And so the granddaughter and the daughter of the lady that passed away, they know nothing about this lady that passed away. Like her origin, where she came from, like what happened when she was younger. She didn't talk about her life at all, right? She was like, oh, it's in the past. Let's leave it in the past. Like, I'm not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And her husband also never brought it up. So the granddaughter, she goes and into the grandmother's house and tries to find like some clues or something while they're cleaning up the house because she passed away and they're planning on selling her house.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, whoa, it looks like she's from Venice. So she goes to Venice to try and find clues, and that's what she's doing in there. And then she finds out that her grandmother was a Jew, like a runaway Jew, who originated. Is that how you say it? Originated. Oh my gosh.
English major over here.
I
Holy
know.
shit.
Okay, look, my brain is literally fried.
Originated.
I knew when
What is
I knew when
happening?
I said it wasn't a word.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, originated. I
I'm-
could see the word in my head.
All right,
and
well,
I
thank
was
you
like,
everybody
what
for
is-
listening.
Stop. Okay. So the lady originated from Venice,
Yes.
and her granddaughter is trying to find out clues as to why her grandmother never talked about her past. And it's also kind of a love story. So if you like love stories, this is the one for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also very much interested in World War II.
Really?
Yeah, when I was little, I used to read all those books that were about World War II.
I mean, they were assigned to us.
Well, no, like I would go and pick them for
yeah?
myself.
Interesting.
And then I even did history projects on it. Like on Schindler's List, I was very much interested in that.
That's crazy.
And all that stuff. I like history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting.
I think it's interesting too.
I don't like the class, but I definitely like,
Oh my goodness.
watching
No, I like
movies and shit about it.
No, I like learning about history.
Yeah.
I don't like taking tests about it because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
something I enjoy.
Yeah, it's like, why
So,
are you going to
Yeah.
sap, or what would you call it? Like suck the enjoyment out of it? Just
Yes,
School ruins
exactly.
shit, honestly.
Okay.
Like, let's real talk. No, I'm just playing.
Real talk. Okay. But yeah, those are all the books that I've read. I've also read The Awakening by Kate Chopin. That was for school though. It was about a woman trying to figure out her identity sexually, just in general. These are the main themes. All right, that's just what I'm going off of here.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like Old English. At least that's how I think of it as.
Like the style of writing.
Yeah, the style of writing. It is very much Old English. It's a very long book. I liked it. I like the theme of it. It was about a woman trying to, find her self-worth and her identity. But it was very long. So if you're interested in those type of books, I just wanted to put that out there. I'm also reading Jane Eyre. That is another book I feel like kind of in a similar situation. I haven't fully read it, just like the first few pages. But those are from school.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's all I wanted to say. If you want to know more about these books, definitely text me or DM me. I can let you know. I did not know what I was going to say for this. Honestly, forgot we were talking about this.
Oh my gosh. No, yeah. I mean, in the description of the episode, I'll also have all of the books that we've talked about listed with the proper titles and the proper authors.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely you can feel free to DM us or text us. Mostly Marisabel, because most of these books have been read by her.
Yeah, but I hope you liked the list. I have read a lot, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Let me get into... Hold on. Let me go get them because we're in my room recording this, so I can actually have them on me. I've only read... hold on.
He's only read a few books. He's going up and getting his stuff right now. But yeah. Man, I feel like I sounded out of breath throughout that. So y'all let me know. Because I was out of breath. And I was sitting down. So that's very concerning.
Ow.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I hit my toe.
Oh no. If y'all didn't hear, he hit his toe.
All right, I'm back. I mean, obviously I've like read other books prior to this, but like as far as reading for my enjoyment, I haven't really done that probably since like 4th grade. So
I love that.
it's been a long time coming, and I'm finally starting, although it's been very slow. I got through this extremely tiny book. I've mentioned this in previous episodes before. It's called How to Love. It's by Thich Nhat Hanh. I'm probably butchering that name, but it'll be in the description. It's listed in our Amazon affiliate link stuff, like in case you're interested in buying it. Super small read. Like, I mean, this is almost like a bathroom read. Like some people put books in their restroom, like because they like I like to scroll through Twitter when I'm using the restroom.
Oh, most
or
definitely.
like Instagram, but some people like to read. I can't read. It's like too much to focus on once. You know what I mean? Anyways, that's like TMI. But so super small read. The title is very self-explanatory. It's basically just telling you different ways of how you can love, and not necessarily just like in a relationship, like Marisol and I, but how to love your friends, your family, though, like your acquaintances,
Mm-hmm.
like when you go through life, like here's a strong, or here's a little excerpt from it, page 74. I mean, super small book. This thing is like 123 pages of actual content, and it's no bigger than half a foot for context, right?
Yeah.
So this one's called A Strong Aspiration, right? It's kind of like each page has its own different theme and little story to it.
Okay.
So it says, if you have a deep aspiration, a goal for your life, then your loving of others is part of this aspiration and not a distraction from it. If you and your partner both want to do things to relieve the suffering in this world, then your love for each other is connected to your love for others, and it expands exponentially to cover the whole world. So it's just kind of little stuff like that. So this little excerpt has to do, primarily with a relationship with somebody, kind of like Marisol and I's, right? Like like girlfriend, boyfriend, spouse, marital type of relationship, and things like that. Just kind of give you a different perspective on, the way that you love each other and how your love is connected to others and other things in the world. So I thought it was really good. I actually picked this up. You can get it on Amazon, but I picked it up it's in the Pearl there's a little bookstore. I think it's called, it has to do with The Branch or something like that.
It's a really small bookstore.
Yeah, I think it's like The Branch,
but
or
it's
the Twig,
cute.
some shit like that. It's related to like wood and a tree, but it was a small little bookstore. I saw it, had to pick it up. Super cheap book. It was like $6. And quick read. Really loved it. I would read it in my car whenever I used to DoorDash, in between orders. I enjoyed it. So the next book that I'm currently reading that I've also mentioned is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Now this book is a little bit larger. It's about 400 pages of actual content, and I'm only on like page 99. So even though I've had it for like 2 months now, I have not gotten through very much of it. I'm pretty slow I'm a fast reader, but I'll read like in bursts. And so I'll read like a few pages like once a week. So it's not like I'm reading a lot at a time. And I'm really trying to get myself to read more and more. And I'm getting better at it. And hopefully I get to the point where I can read a whole book in a month, as opposed to right now going on 2.5 months, only getting through about a third or a fourth of this book, right? But overall, like so far, this book has really changed my outlook on a lot of things. I think it's improved my perspective on religion, on our relationship, on my relationship with my parents, my relationship with like political matters. Just because I felt like there was a point where I was so opinionated about everything, and I really was hating that I was starting to be like that. And this book there's a lot of lessons to be learned, right? And you can apply them almost anywhere, because these 7 habits, right? I'm barely on habit 1, right? Because the entire the beginning of the book is just kind of like a read this to prepare you to read about the 7 habits, and now I'm reading about the first habit, and like a general gist is kind of being a proactive or reactive thinker, right? And I don't know, it's really changed like how I'm looking at a lot of things. Like it seems like every single subcategory in this one habit, right, is like it keeps on changing me, and I'm like, man, like I never thought about that. And I'll go out and I'll have it like in my mind, like what I just read about, trying to be proactive in the way that I'm thinking and the way that I'm acting, and to act upon what I learned, because like I mentioned this in previous episodes, how like after reading this book, I've looked back in the past, and like it's not like I regret anything, but I'm like, man, I definitely could have done better there. And so now I want to do better now, right? And just be better than I was. And I mean, that should be like the goal for everybody, right? Just continuously get better. But I'm looking back now with hindsight and like this knowledge that I've gained from this book, and I don't know, it's been really great. I've really been enjoying it. I like listening to lo-fi music when I read it, or I'll throw on like fireplace noises. Or more recently, there's this playlist on Spotify. It's just rain sounds. Honestly, that should be bussin'. Like I'm listening to it, and it's just kind of like like, you know, and there's also
Yeah.
another one where it's like rain and then occasional rolling thunder.
Oh my goodness.
And it's been really enjoyable. I love it. Definitely recommend it for anybody. It's been a great read so far, and I'm super excited to finish it, and I'm eager to start reading more and more. Probably going to read it tonight. Again, hopefully I can get past that 100 pages. I mean, I'm on 99, so definitely going to get to page 100. But yeah, once I finish this, I actually have another book, a third book that I have on standby. This was actually recommended to me by a friend. Yeah, so because I told him that I was going to Barnes and Noble, and he sent me a little list of books that he was trying to find, because I've really been reading these kind of self-help books, these self-growth books. And he was like, you should check it out. And I was like, yeah, for sure, man. And I found it. So this is it. It's called The War of Art: Break Through the Blocks and Win Your Inner Creative Battles by Stephen Pressfield. So this one, haven't read yet, but I'm super excited. So on the back, it says, creative work is a gift to the world and every being in it. Don't cheat us of your contribution. Give us what you've got. So it says, in this powerful, straight from the hip examination of the internal obstacles to success, best-selling author Stephen Pressfield shows readers how to identify, defeat, and unlock the inner barriers to creativity. The War of Art is an inspirational, funny, well-aimed kick in the pants guaranteed to galvanize every would-be artist, visionary, or entrepreneur. So this seems kind of like a book designed or, you know, wrote to speak to whoever's reading it and kind of unlock yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It seems like a very interesting read. This one's not nearly as big as The 7 Habits. It's much thinner. It's only looks like about 150 pages of content to read. So definitely a lot smaller. It's going to be a quicker read. And I'm excited. I'm excited to get reading it once I'm done with The 7 Habits. And after this, just, you know, continue to get more books. I want to build up a little self-help book collection, attain more knowledge, because I used to have this really negative view of reading and how, like, you know, everybody's like, you know, if you read like 10 books in a year, like you just put yourself that much ahead of others who don't, right? And I was kind of like, really though? Like, do you really though? And now that I've been reading these, I'm like, I would have never thought these things or had these shifts in perspective if it wasn't for these books. Or maybe I would have gotten there, but it would have been so much slower. So these are really accelerating my learning and my thought process on a lot of things. And I don't know, it's really cool. But yeah, honestly, that's all I had to say. I didn't have a lot of books that I have been reading or that I am reading. But yeah, definitely if you're interested, text me. Shoot us a DM either on our personal Instagram pages or our livewithjm page. But yeah, if there's any books that y'all recommend to us, let us know. I'm primarily interested in those self-help books. Marisolo's interested in the same thing, and like, you know, romance novels, history novels. Anything else you're interested in?
Not really. Or actually, I like Gothic literature.
Yeah.
I did read this one book fall of 2020, so a year ago.
Yeah.
It was called Mexican Gothic. It was actually really good. I'm so sorry. It's actually really good, and I don't remember much about it, but if you're into like that Gothic type of literature, it's something that I enjoyed. It mixed a little bit of romance in there, and I feel like that's why I liked it. But it also brings about like some Mexican culture, and I really appreciated that because my professor wanted us to see that in our lives.
Yeah.
So I very much liked it. And I actually forgot, there was a book that I did not take a picture of and did not mention. So we will list that down below. But it was also a really good book.
I mean, do you know of it now or?
No, I have no idea what the title was.
Then yeah, anything that we recommended or that we mentioned right now, yeah, it'll be in the description of the episode.
No, yeah. But I actually wanted to, well, this is for you. I was going to actually tell you and send you the video.
Really?
But yeah, because it's about like self-help books and like, you know, self-improvement.
Interesting.
But so one of the titles is 101 essays that will change the way that you think.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So from that title, I haven't read much about it, but I feel like it's going to be 101 essays. So you'll be finishing those pretty fast. And then another one is actually the No Worries workbook. That's a workbook, so maybe not something that you're interested in.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, if you're looking for something to do.
Definitely throw it on the list because I'm going at this kind of slow.
And then another one, I actually heard about this one a few years ago, but Atomic Habits, an essay and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. So I know a lot of like YouTubers and TikTokers, that sounds funny to say, have recommended it, and it really changed their way of like thinking and how they do things. I personally have never read it, but it sounds really interesting. And then the last one is get out of your head. Stopping the spiral of toxic thoughts. This one personally for me. But if y'all also have like that same problem or want to, read something like that, also you as well, babe. These are just some books that I was gonna send to you.
Yeah.
Because I remembered you when I read these titles. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we listed off some pretty good stuff. Definitely, if you're interested, check them out. If anything, too, I'll actually add the links to these books. Like, if you're interested in buying it, I'll just throw the link in there just to make it that much easier for y'all.
Man, that would be like really helpful.
Yeah. Hopefully, they're all on Amazon. If not, well, then
I feel like they might be.
They might. If not, like, I'm sure you could find it at probably like Half Price Books or Barnes and Noble, some shit like that. But
for sure.
But yeah, I think this is a good time to close out the episode. I really appreciate everybody, or we really appreciate everybody for listening and tuning in. We've had tons of support on the episodes lately, and it's been crazy to see the numbers go up. And so definitely spread the word to anybody you think might enjoy it. And make sure to follow us on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at livewithjm pod. Check out our Amazon affiliate links. And you don't have to buy anything, but if you do, we'll get a small kickback, and we really appreciate that. And is there anything else that we want to mention?
No.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we will catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.